Hi, this is Don Kedal reporting from Jerusalem, and today I just want to give you guys a summary of what took place here in the past 2 weeks as we were here in Jerusalem celebrating the Feast of Tabernacles with Gentiles from the nations, God-fearers, coming together, worshiping the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, learning from the Jewish people how to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles here in Jerusalem, here in Zion, in God's holy city, His holy mountain, Mount Zion. And it was just a phenomenal time as we went up to the Temple Mount, and just before we were part of the Aaronic blessing, the Birkat Kohanim at the Temple Mount, at the Western Wall, at the Western Wall, part of the Birkat Kohanim, and it was just a phenomenal time. In fact, that was one of the highlights for many of the people who came. They were saying just to receive the blessing of the Kohanim, the priests, the Jewish priests from the lineage of Aaron, standing there in front of the Western Wall, receiving the blessing from the priests was just such a phenomenal experience for them. It was such a blessed experience for them. They didn't really have words to say how, and it was hard for them to really express it, but they were just saying it was just special to be there with the Jewish people and just receiving that blessing from our priests, from our Jewish leaders up at the Western Wall. And by God's grace, next year it will be at the Temple Mount and not at the Western Wall, because that's where we belong, where we should really be able to bless the people of Israel from God's holy mountain, on the place where God said He would put His name forever and that He would bless His people from, and that being through the Aaronic lineage and them being the ones pronouncing that blessing over the people of Israel. Another thing that was a real highlight was the Jerusalem March, where those wearing the Cry for Zion t-shirts and Let the Jews Pray on the Temple Mount written on their backs, with a huge banner in the front saying, March for Zion. Many Jewish people, I noticed this year, were just really touched and moved by that sign, and many of them were just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, and or just confused and saying, what is this? What is this? What are you all about? You know, they're just curious and trying to understand, you know, what's this statement? But when they heard, let the Jews pray on the Temple Mount, that the group was chanting as they were marching, then they understood, oh, they want us to pray on the Temple Mount. And they were confused. They were just kind of like, what does that mean? Let us pray on the Temple Mount. You could tell there was just this trying to understand, what are these people all about? And it was just phenomenal. It was just awesome to watch that experience, that interaction, and to watch these righteous Gentiles coming to Jerusalem, trying to learn how to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles, trying to connect with the Jewish people, and to learn how we serve our God here in Jerusalem according to the ways that Moses has given us and directed us. And it's just a blessing. It was a wonderful time. I had a great time here in Jerusalem. And really, when the nations were reeling, when the nations were coming against us and our connection to the Temple Mount, here are these righteous Gentiles from the very nations of which are standing against us and declaring that we don't have a right to our holy mountain. They were the ones here in Jerusalem proclaiming the very opposite, receiving the blessing of the Jewish people at the Jewish Western Wall, and then going up to the Jewish Temple Mount and seeing the very place where one day will be a house of prayer for all nations. And that was phenomenal and exciting and just a wonderful time that we had. And I just wanted to report that to you guys and to give you that update of what took place here in Jerusalem this year, and just what excitement and wonderful time we had. So this is Don Kedal reporting to you from Jerusalem, from the holy, eternal capital of the Jewish people forever. Shalom.